Peep the cut. What y'all know about these? What y'all know about these? Okay, my laptop is done having a stroke, so we can continue the video. I was planning to react to 3 reacts, but my laptop just set my move completely off. So we're gonna watch this we're gonna watch something called Kage the Dawn Coded.
Okay, so boom! The scene kicks off with our ninja Rock Lee opening up the 8 in the gates. He dashes towards this tree and gives it a solid spinning kick, which made it topple over with ease. Okay, we see you, Lee. Monk hasn't lost a step. You also haven't lost the address to your trash ass barber. I see you and that bowl cut are like Rod Wave and a burger, just inseparable. What has changed though is that face. What the f do you got going on these days? Chin bout as strong as forget gum, this nigga is chewing on tires. Nonetheless, what matters most is Lee's strength, skill, and confidence is still top tier. But sadly, he was not able to pass any of that down, to his disappointment of a son. Rock Lee is currently trying to teach him how to open the 8 inner gates, but Metal Lee, yes, the nigga's name is really Metal Lee, is definitely not ready. Looks can be deceiving, but this ninja is most definitely an imposter. Garbage ass bowl cut, check. Tight ass Fashion Nova romper, check. Ultra thick caterpillar eyebrows, check. But if we take a deeper look, the x-ray has determined he does not have that dog in him. Rock Lee asked this boy if he's fully prepared to undergo this rigorous training, and this embarrassment responds in the most cringy way possible. I leave it to you. Rock Lee, confused as to who he's talking to, asks him to explain himself before he calls them people on it. And that is when this boy says,
"You mean this? It is just something that cures anxiety. Absolutely cannot afford to become..."
This jelly soft. Oh, this? Give me a second. Oh, this? This? This cures anxiety. This nigga is trash. I'm on caffeine today, so. Freaking 7 in an 18 of this, okay. Let's keep it pushing.
Nervous while undertaking this training.
yeah, cut the cameras, nigga. We tryna open the 8 inner gates and you talking about some anxiety. See, this, that
Nigga, you is not touchy. You is not touchy. Don't talk about anxiety.
I was talking about in the last video. This new ninja generation is Charmin Ultra Soft. Listen, salute to all the people struggling with anxiety, but of all professions, you chose to be a ninja, bitch. Are you slow? Talking about some anxiety, and you have the nerve to sport that legendary fit worn by your confident and skilled predecessors. You have no right to be wearing that. Matter of fact, Rock Lee was so disgusted with Lee's response that he ended the training session right then and there and left that nigga to bask in his pitiful aura. Talking about some, but Papa, we then cut to Metal Lee sulking in the streets of Konoha, but all of a sudden he notices a mysterious figure that seems to be crashing down towards him. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it is our Taijutsu King, Guy Sensei himself. Look at our goat, man. Gave his leg up for the Lee. So inspirational. Guy can sense something is wrong, so he asks Metal Lee to let him know what's up. So that is when he fills him in.
Well, Guy Sensei, Papa says he's not gonna train train me anymore because he's disgusted with my anxiety and how it affects my training.
Hold on, so I know you not talking about some anxiety in front of me right now. Nigga, look at my leg. I'm in a wheelchair.
Sorry,
Man, watch out. I'm lecturing at the academy today. Pull up or don't, I don't care. We then cut to Guy's lecture and everyone is giving him the glaze he deserves, applauding him for all his contributions in the war. But one student has the balls to ask him that considering he's crippled, does he have any regrets? So Guy lets him know that he could still pack up his favorite ninja on his best day. Matter of fact, he even volunteers to do a taijutsu demonstration. But these little snot-nosed brats are really doubting him, talking about some,
Can he really do that?
so to shut these nincompoops down, he not only agrees to give them a taijutsu demonstration, he also agrees to go 2v1 against any of them. He then picks out Metal and this no-name, and this nigga has the audacity to say,
My question is, why didn't he just chop his leg off? Then he can replace it with the Ashirama cells. If you know, you know. Nigga.
about that? With your leg? I knew that. Yeah, you about to anxiously catch this ass whoop. Guy gets in his stance, ready for these bumps to come at him, but the lights are already too bright for Metal Lee, so the no-name decides to charge at him first and leaps up to try and deliver this garbage kick. But of course, Guy blocks it with ease, laughs in his face, then delivers this spine-shattering stiff arm, leaving this nigga slumped. Metal Lee finally finishes pissing his pants and decides to get in on the action by charging in with the softest punch I've ever seen. Guy then counters with a punch of his own, and surprisingly he weaved it and the two attacks that followed. But the dodges were not enough to gain any respect from me, because can someone please tell me what the f are these animations? This, oh great heavens, ass dodge followed by a shiver me timbers ass weave. Please get this junk off my screen. Then forces Guy to flip back with this ballerina twirl. But while back there, Guy notices that the no-name ninja he stiff-armed in the beginning is no longer smeared against the wall. So when he suddenly appeared behind him, Guy was not surprised in the slightest. The no-name tried to take off Guy's head with a kick, but Guy Sensei caught that junk and flung that nigga with one hand, sending him crashing into Metal Lee. And just like that, we received the end of the quickest 2v1 in history. All the kids were left in complete awe, but any real Guy Sensei fan was not impressed in the slightest. They over there making sure they still have feeling in their limbs, talking about some,
Did that all on one leg. Wow, war heroes truly are incredible.
Now, yes, that sentiment is true, but keep in mind that you are truly just ass. Please find a new career. After the match, Guy Sensei links up with Lee pretty much to let him know that his son is in fact Doodoo Cakes 5000. He either needs to get that nigga right or produce a new heir, because he is most definitely not fit to take over the Taijutsu King's throne. So Rock Lee decides that he's gotta give Metal Lee some tough love by challenging him to a fight that will take place in front of everyone. All Metal Lee has to do is land one hit and he wins. So after heavily considering handing his resume into Ichiraku Ramen, he manages to put on his big girl panties and show up to the match. He then begins to go on this long tangent about his anxiety and how it affects him and blah blah blah. But if I'm being completely real, I would rather watch paint dry while listening to a whole Blueface album than listen to this nigga ramble. It wasn't until he gripped his necklaces, yes plural, the nigga bought 2 more to coat, that I actually started to lock in. He then proceeds to rip the necklaces off his neck to prove to himself and the audience that he can be confident all on his own. No! You thought I was about to hype this junk up? Absolutely not. He should have never had them on in the first place. Save the motivational speeches, just get to boxing. Metal Lee charges in, but gets both of his attacks blocked by Lee, then catapulted to the other side of the arena. Rock Lee then charges in at Metal Lee to beat some more anxiety out of him, but Metal Lee dodges the first jab, but gets caught with this crisp back kick that definitely knocks something out of him. This boy is so trash that he's leaking after 2 hits. And Rock Lee has no remorse either, cause after that nigga tumbled across the ground like a soccer ball, he just stared him down while all his peers in the audience laughed at him. Now I'm all for tough love, but with some of these kids, you gotta be careful. This is how school shooters are born. Thankfully, it seemed like the tough love was working though, because he started to get up while giving the most cringiest motivational speech I've ever heard.
I will not run from my anxiety!
Unlike me, Guy was eating that shit up, over there bawling his eyes out in the crowd. And Rock Lee seemed to mess with it too, so Metal Lee charged back in and somewhat started to cook. Keep the parry, spinning weave, back fist. This mild little combo though was already too spicy for him, because this man started to lose his balance and get dizzy. But as Lee shot back in with a right hook, Metal Lee anxiously ducked under it like his body was moving on its own. He then proceeds to back Lee up with this somewhat half-decent combo. Watch the backhand, uppercut, ballerina kick, anxious breakdance special, and a nasty kip-up-like kick. He tries to hit Lee with another kick, but it gets dodged, then he falls right on his face, butt just tooted up in the air. But as the crowd began to laugh more and more, this nigga's anxiety somehow made him better. Now he's nervously squabbling Lee, going blow for blow, and as Lee continues to dodge and block his attacks, him and Guy simultaneously realize that his moves resemble Lee's special technique. And this is when I officially closed my laptop and stopped taking this seriously, because there's no way they're trying to give us a T-move version of Rock Lee's drunken fist right now. All the Boruto fan club members stay in the comments talking about some Boruto speak, Boruto speak. Is this the peak in question? You stupid. Metal Lee continues to feed off the energy of the crowd, getting more charged up with every attack, but he finally reached his peak when he leaped into the air, closed his eyes, and finally unlocked the 8 inner gates, then landed this devastating kick, sending Rock Lee flying. The whole crowd was speechless, but it wasn't until Mike Guy broke the silence by sliding down there with his wheelchair and announcing that Metal Lee is the winner of this fight, thus putting an end to this cringe-filled bout. Overall, a nice little Rock Lee and Mike Guy post-Naruto update. Guy Sensei definitely deserves MVP for packing up the 2 bums on 1 foot while also giving Rock Lee some nice parenting advice. Rock Lee gets a B for giving the tough love he needed, but he took the L in the end, so I can't give him much higher. And last but for sure least, Metal Lee gets a shocking C+. If you thought that Mickey Mouse dub earned him any ratings from me, you were sadly mistaken.
I don't really wanna know.
This generation is soft. Soft.